Hey guys, Mike Hedlesky here. I just want to do a little video on exactly how to set up a program that's basically custom tailored to just like what you can handle. Now we have all kinds of ways, and I mean the easiest way to track volume, you just add everything up, and that's how much volume you did in a single session, a weekly session, a month, a year, whatever. But there's no real there's only a couple of ways to quantify, calculate, and track the actual intensity that you do. So this is just a rundown of just a way to actually put some numbers, put some coefficients to things, hopefully get you going in the right direction. And after I get done, hopefully, I know there's a lot of shit up here, it's a lot of information, but hopefully this will make some sense. So what I'm going to talk about is an I-NOL equation. It's an intensity at a given number of lifts. So this whole program, this whole little thing, I'm an asshole, so I call it if it fits your intensity, bro. So the equation itself is just the number of lifts that you've done. This is a single lift, so you have to calculate it for every single lift, every single set and everything. So it just kind of, you can use the total number of reps that you did, but you can only use it for whatever given, for the reps you did with that given percentage. Say you did 2 sets of 5 at 80%, and you did 2 sets of 1 at 90%. You have to do one for that 85%, all the lifts you did there, then all the lifts you did at 90%, add them together, and this is just for one single lift. You can't factor in every single lift that you do, because this is just tracking and create a coefficient for to quantify the intensity of just one given lift. So number of lifts with one exercise at whatever percentage you're using, then 100% minus that percentage of your max. So you don't have to convert it or anything, don't put it to decimals. So basically, like, if you did 15 lifts at 80% on whatever exercise, it would be 15 over 20, and then that gives you your I-NOL. So that's stupid simple, but what that does is it goes and puts it into a coefficient that then you can use that to actually track your intensity over a period of time based off of what you did in that single session. So an example, here's what I did today. I'm soaking wet. It's 1,000 degrees outside, about 5,000,000% humidity. I used a safety squat bar on the main lift that I did today. I did 355 for 3 sets of 10 without a belt on or anything. I'm guessing here, because I've been maxed out with it, the most I've ever done on a safety squat bar is a little bit over 600 pounds. That was with a belt and everything, so I'm guessing my max is somewhere around 550 without one. So that's I think it's pretty conservative, because other than the asthma attack I had on the 3rd set today, I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital actually. It really wasn't too bad. It was just kind of rough going through all that volume just because I'm not used to it. Just getting over competing this past weekend, I'm still kind of on the downside of all that, so I just feel like shit anyway. But anyway, so max at 550, that puts that intensity around 65%. You can round up or down, just as long as you kind of keep it consistent with how you round it. So that 355 is about 65% of 550. So 30 total lifts, because I did 3 sets of 10. 100 minus, that should be 100 minus 65. So just imagine that's a 6. 100 minus 65 gives me 35. So now we got 30 over 35. That gives me an I-NOL of 0.86 for all of the work I did with that safety squat bar in this session. Now, if we come over here to this chart, this is the single session chart, basing on that I-NOL coefficient that you came up with. Right around here, anything under 0.4 is recovery work. It's not really, you're not getting too much of a stimulus out of that or anything. You're not going too heavy, you're not doing a whole lot of volume or anything. So it's just, yeah, like I said, it's more like an extra workout, maybe some light accessory stuff, nothing too crazy. So if you're in that 0.4 to 0.1 range, that's your accessory work. Most stuff's going to be around there. If you're in a volume phase, kind of accumulating fatigue, as you can see, that 0.86 puts me right into that block right there, and that's exactly what I was going for today. I actually didn't even calculate that out to begin with. I was messing around just trying to think of a good example to give for the video, and this worked out absolutely perfect. So yeah, so that 0.4 to 0.1 range, accessory work, just initial blocks of training, volume blocks, stuff like that. This 1 to 2 coefficient range, this is a loading, this is peaking, this is testing, somewhere around there. This is like your intensification blocks, any kind of just pure strength work that you're moving into, up to like power stuff and then leading into the meat, I mean, it can be kind of the higher end of volume work, maybe the last couple weeks or so. Last week of like an accumulation phase, something like that. Just like an initial volume block of training is probably going to end up around, probably a little bit over that one, maybe like a 1.2 at most, 1.3. If it's any higher than that, it's not volume work anymore. You're doing something different. So yeah, like I said, loading, peaking, testing. If you go over 2, you better be at a competition, or you're going to need to call 911 because you probably killed yourself. Anything over 2 on a single lift. You're gonna be feeling it. You're gonna be feeling pretty rough, and you're probably not gonna be able to do a whole lot else for the rest of the day, because that'll wreck you pretty good. So keeping in mind the single session numbers. If we go to a weekly number, again, this is just for one singular lift. So say you did a 0.6 in one session for bench press, kind of a lighter week, a lighter training block that you're in, maybe recovering from a meet, something like that. You're probably going to end up around this 2 or 3 range for the weekly INOL equation, just kind of keeping it consistent throughout the week in whatever block of training that you're in. So here's the weekly numbers anyway. So less than 2, it's a deload week. So that's, if you're doing a higher frequency program like I am right now, squatting, benching, and deadlifting 3 times a week, that if you're around 0.2, you're not doing a whole or under 2. I'm sorry. If you're under 2, you're not doing a whole lot. You're not doing a whole lot of stuff that week. 2 to 3, again, falling in that second block there. Accumulating fatigue, accessory work. You're getting sick pumps that week. You're probably in the initial phases of a volume block, something like that. Maybe slowly transitioning up to an intensity block. 3 to 4, you're going nuts. You're going ape shit. You're doing lots of heavy stuff. You're getting ready for a meet. You can't really keep this up for too long. And just you should keep this in mind when you're programming, that these 3 to 4 ranges should probably be only a couple weeks out from a meet, maybe like your last 4 weeks, 5 weeks of training, something like that. It's just not sustainable for a long period of time. So weekly volume, weekly INOL, if it's over 4, you died. You killed yourself. There's no coming back from that. So again, your 4, that's something you're going to hit in the competition. Hopefully you're hitting some records and everything. You can throw it in there. I mean, maybe like 1 or 2 sessions where you just go absolutely ape shit with the amount of weight that you're doing. But consistently being around this, you're just begging for an injury, or just most people aren't conditioned enough to handle a workload like that over a long period of time. So I'm not going to say overtraining, because I don't think that's a real thing. But there's plenty of people that aren't conditioned enough to handle a given workload, especially one that's that intense. So keep that in mind. I mean, different people can handle different things. That's a big saying everybody says, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But the reason that you cannot hang out in this range for a very long period of time is most people just lack the conditioning to be able to recover from it, or to be able to do it consistently with consistent technique. And just there's a million other factors into it than just, I'm overtrained, bro, my CNS is fried. Well, then you died because you're having arrhythmias, and your neurons are shooting backwards. So obviously the only real problem with this is, okay, how do you differentiate between a set, 5 sets of 2 at 80%, or how do you differentiate between working sets where you're at 2 sets of 5 at 80%? So obviously the INOL for that is 0.5, no matter what, no matter how you break it down. This way you can actually calculate each single set down. You got your 5 sets, you're doing 2 reps at your 80%, so 80 minus 100, 100 minus 80 equals 20, so that's your your percentage of your max there. So 5 times 2 over 20 is 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1 for all 5 sets added up. It's 0.5. For your 2 sets of 5, now you're going 2 sets times 5 reps over 20, and you got 0.25, 0.25. Now you have quantified which way sucks more. You have a number, you have a coefficient for it. Even though no matter what, that 0.5, it's going to be, low in here on your accumulation work, stuff like that. Now you've got a way to actually quantify how hard each set is, down to even like just the very, even with different set and rep schemes that you're working with. So yeah, I use this a lot when I'm making programs, and it's probably kind of stupid to give out this information for someone that makes makes money selling programs and stuff. But I mean, just there's a science to training and there's an art to training. This is a lot of the science here, especially for factoring in intensity and stuff like that. And I didn't make this shit up. I stole it just like everybody else does with any good ideas. I mean, most of the ebooks I've read lately are pretty much just stolen from shit that people thought no one read, I guess. So, you know, it's not hard. I suck at math, but I mean, it's really easy to plug all this stuff into an Excel sheet to track things. But yeah, like I was saying, there's a science, there's an art. The art of setting this stuff up gets a lot more complicated. That's where you need some kind of experienced coach or something, you know, helping you out a little bit. But hopefully with this, you can go back through some of your own training. Hopefully you're tracking everything to just at least bare minimum, writing stuff down in a notebook somewhere. So I mean, go back through, find some of the hardest workouts you've ever done, find some of the toughest weeks you've ever gone through, and calculate some of it out. I bet you it works out pretty evenly. Now, most of these numbers actually work out to a Prelipin's table pretty well. But a little variation here. I think this is a hell of a lot more accurate, since that whole thing was set up for Olympic weightlifting anyway. So this is a really good way to track the power lifts, very personally, very specifically to you. And then and I mean, you can figure out what you can handle and make a custom program that's 100% correct, like 100% applicable and yours. You know, any kind of general recommendation is going to be just that, general. So. Just some stuff to think about. Like I said, go back through your stuff, calculate some of the things you did, and I bet you these numbers add up pretty good. So yeah, leave your comment. Let me know if you have any questions about this stuff. Hopefully I didn't fuck it up too bad. I think I did a pretty good job. I like all my boxes, make it look cool. Like I'm about as organized as a 4-year-old. But yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.